Welcome to another video, and as you can see by the title, this video is going to cover various clips that cover maximum IQ plays I've managed to capture, and hopefully I can talk through, explain what's happening in each clip that is a maximum IQ play, or just basically what's unique, so that you guys can better understand and learn these different types of methods and things that you can do in certain tricky situations. And then you can implement this into your own game when playing Battlefield 5 to help you get more kills and stay alive longer. So as you can see here, this is just an introduction clip so I can introduce the video, but in just a second we'll get into the first clip, which is going to cover deception when using smoke. So in the first clip we have underground, where there's always tight corridors with multiple people on the other side of certain doorways, and we have an enemy here camping and holding the doorway, which has become very hard to kill. I've had a teammate which has gone down and has died, who I obviously want to get a revive on, and the only way I can get that revive is by killing that enemy. If I push the enemy, then I'm obviously going to potentially die or run into multiple enemies. Easy and guaranteed way, potentially, to get the kill here is I throw a smoke down off to the side, and this makes the enemy think that I'm going for a revive. Therefore he pushes the door because he thinks I'm vulnerable and easy to kill, because I'm not going to be aiming out the door, I'm going to be going for a revive, and therefore I've chucked a smoke down out the way so I can still see the doorway and therefore get the kill. Now in this one we're playing Al Marj and running obviously the scout class with a sniper. If any enemies push me in this house, a 6x scope on this sniper is not going to be very good at all in 1v1, and also even using a pistol against a ZK or a shotgun, which is what you're going to probably encounter on this map, is obviously not going to be very good for winning a gunfight. As you could see, I put down my spawn beacon just by the top of the stairs, and this gives the potential chance for any enemy that runs up those stairs to be distracted by the spawn beacon and shoot the spawn beacon before engaging me, which gives me a chance to hit bullets onto the enemy first, which you can see here. The enemy with the ZK goes for the spawn beacon first and gives me the time to get the kill. Unfortunately, in these next two clips I accidentally deleted them, so I've reenacted them with my friend Kurt, just to show exactly what these two things will be that you can utilize. Now these two clips show deception using gunfire. In this case we have a guy who's hiding and peeking behind a corner and won't push, so I'm going to use gunfire, firing away from where he is, a bit further than I showed there, to make him think that I'm therefore not aiming at him anymore and I'm engaging with someone else. This will get them to push out of their cover and therefore allows you to get the kill. In the second one, which I'm going to show, it will show where you have an enemy that you can see which you want to kill and engage with, but moves out of your line of sight, meaning you can't actually see them anymore or kill them. Firing some random shots off will gain the attention of the enemy as they hear it, meaning they'll come to investigate where the shots come from, and they'll come back into your line of sight, and therefore you can get the kill. Both really useful and do work quite a lot, and therefore I don't have to push onto the flag. This one is fairly simple, and it's not as common as throwing the grenade and shooting it in midair, but it's simply I'm using an MP34 and underground. There could be multiple enemies pushing through the doorway, and so I'm going to throw my grenade onto the bottom of the doorway. There's a high chance that enemies are always going to come through the doorway, and therefore when the enemies do come through, enemy or enemies, I have the chance to shoot the grenade, which will be on the floor for a second or two before exploding, and therefore I can kill multiple enemies that come through that doorway, or even just a single enemy, and I don't have to engage against a ZK or Type 2A or a shotgun and have the potential of losing the gunfight because I'm using an MP34. Here, a very similar situation, but instead of shooting your grenade, we're going to use the own enemy's explosives, being their bouncing betties or their trip mines, and simply, if you can't see the enemy but you around a corner and you can see a bouncing betty or trip mine, you shoot it and it will explode and get the enemy which is behind cover. Pretty simple, self-explanatory, but not a lot of people will do that, so keep that in mind next time you play and you see a trip mine. Here we have the wraparound technique or maneuver which you can use across the entire map of Rotterdam, wherever there is a stairwell or these corner buildings. And whenever you have enemies camping in these corner buildings or the stairwell, which you will have on multiple cases, especially if you're engaged in a gunfight and they're watching the only doorway which you can come through, meaning you have to engage in a gunfight, you can simply jump out of the window from either the stairwell or the corner building and wrap around and climb into the other window. And with the enemy 99% of the time watching the doorway, of course you can shoot them in the back and get a free kill. You do not have to therefore engage in a gunfight 1v1 and have the potential of dying and losing it. And this is also useful if there are multiple enemies camped in this building, giving you the chance to take on multiple enemies individually and getting the one up on them. Now this maneuver is the same and can be performed on any of the staircases in Rotterdam as well. This is simply not wrapping around, but this is jumping out the window and grabbing a ledge below. And again, if the enemies, which you are normally going to be pushing you up the stairs, are going to be looking up the stairs and making sure you're not looking down and shooting them. So simply jump out the window, turn around quickly, grab any of the levels of windows that are below you. You can choose whichever one. And most of the time, you're going to be able to shoot the enemy again in the back. And even if they're looking at you, you're going to catch them by surprise and you'll still have a high chance of killing them. So yeah, very useful. Now this one is more so lucky and funny, but is a tip you can use whenever you play again. If you do grab the car at the start of any game and you push and you want to get out of the car, make sure you leave the car on the same path where the enemies are going to be running. Maybe they'll destroy it, maybe they won't, but in certain cases, something like this might happen. An extra kill to put towards a 100 game. Now here, this is a max IQ play because simply using the map knowledge of my ultimate guide and spots, obviously, of playing Battlefield 5 for 4 years. Here, getting onto C flag, there's two ways you can get onto C flag here from the position I was in, which is either through the choke point where I was revived, or under the archway over by B flag, which will also be a choke point where there can be multiple enemies. Using my knowledge here to use the tree and get up onto this, along the wall of this tower, I'm able to therefore jump over. If there was a massive buildup of enemies at that choke point on my left, I would be able to jump off and shoot them all in the back. Obviously there was no enemies here, but I was still able to get onto C flag and engage all the enemies that were on there using this route that I have obviously discovered through my ultimate guide and spots videos, which you can check out on the channel as well. Now we have a clip here with an example of two high IQ plays. We have a sniper here who's aiming at me from the back of the map when I'm at the top of this building on underground. I missed my first shot, and this means if I go and re-peek, he's probably already aimed exactly where my head is going to be and will insta-kill me as soon as I lean around that corner. I've got no other location to relocate to retarget and attack him from, except from dropping down. So just walk back a little bit, drop down, and boom, I get the free kill because he's aimed at on the floor above me, thinking I'm going to be there, but I've just jumped down, and if he does see me jump down and peek, he's got to re-aim, whereas I'm already aimed at his head and get the kill. Now let the rest of the clip play a second, and all that's going to be shown here at the end of the clip is another example of the wraparound maneuver, which I said you could use on Rotterdam. It's the exact same thing here, which can be done on this staircase. Two enemies are going to push up the stairs to me, and I'm going to wrap around and get both of them really easily. And even though one guy is facing me, I still get him because he's not expecting me to come from there because I don't even come up the stairs. But yeah, that wraps up for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.